Hi guys, this is Asad. I'm in Burma, Myanmar. I'm not going to be giving my exact locations, obviously for my safety and the safety of anyone that we're working with or anyone that decides that they want to talk to us. Just a really quick update since the article and some elaboration on what I wrote. The IDPs, the internally displaced people that I visited were in Mandalay, which is about 100 kilometers from Meiktila, and they were spread across several locations throughout the city, housed mainly by fellow Muslims. And what has to be stressed is that there was a real atmosphere, a real strong feeling of fear. We had to negotiate for a while to be able to speak to some people and try to gain their trust to be able to film them. They asked for their faces to be blurred out. And some of the conditions that these people were living in, they were overcrowded. We had small children. A child maybe 1 years old playing, kicking a little ball around, but unable to go outside because they're still scared. They're worried that they could be attacked at any time. In terms of the death toll, I still don't think we have the final number because these people haven't been able to return. The IDPs that are in the sports stadium are unable to leave. They're still being protected by the army, and there's still this atmosphere of fear and hatred. But what was different about the violence in Mektilat was, in comparison to what happened in Arakan, is that the Buddhists from the city Mandalay, which is about 100 miles away, actually came and helped save Muslims. And a strong feeling from people that were there is that this trouble was caused from outside. They seem to think that it's orchestrated. Uh, Everyone reported that the police were standing by and doing nothing, either unable or unwilling to help. And the language of hatred, the language of demonization against the Muslim population has moved on from the Rohingya, and now is spreading to other parts of the country. You've had reports of attacks even further down from Melikat. There's reports of an orphanage being burnt down. Again, unless we're able to visit the exact location and verify these as, on our own, we're just working with other journalists, citizen journalists, that are giving us these reports, and people that we trust and rely on this information. Shops have been closing early in Rangoon for fear of violence and looting. The government said that in Melikat things are back to normal, but reports that I received actually tell us that no, they're not, because the shops are still closed. People are not returning because they don't feel safe. Just moving on, because I had some other stuff written down. The report is that before these attacks take place, and it's happening around Rangoon, just outside, further up north and just down from Melikat, the electricity is cut off in weeks or even days running up to the attacks. Wirathu's sermons, he does his speeches, his hate speeches. Leaflets are distributed by his group called 969, an extremist organization. The Muslims are being called invaders, terrorists. This kind of fear mongering that's taking place amongst certain parts of the population to get them riled up against the Muslim population who have lived side by side with Buddhists in peace. But now this language of hatred is really infectious. We spoke to one Rohingya who's living in Rangoon, and he said that, and he made a profound point. He said if the state isn't involved in what's taking place, then why are extremist monks given airtime to air their hatred on the TV channels here, the state-owned TV channels? They're allowed to come on and spread hatred. One Buddhist monk came on recently, and he reminded people that the Buddhists here are the host and the Muslims are the guests, and making the separation between the Muslims and the Buddhists, whereas Muslims have been here for years, hundreds of years. Um, in terms of other locations, in other streams, I'm just gonna read off a list of locations and reports of violence, of attacks actually, that have taken place. And I just want to reiterate some other things, that we should really move away. Mainstream media have been calling this communal violence. It's not communal. And uh, it's not an even-sided struggle. One group of people outnumber the other. The Buddhists outnumber the Muslims. One group of people are armed. One group of people seem to be supported by the state, and one group of people are demonized constantly. The build-up of demonization, and I said in my article, it reminds me of the language that was used in the Balkans before the Bosnian genocide, is that these people are being taught to hate a minority. And whenever you have that in a society, it's going to lead to violence, and I think clearly it's going to lead to genocide if it hasn't already in Arakan, the Rohingya. And in terms of the Rohingya Muslims in Arakan, we're still receiving strong reports that there seems to be some sort of mobilization for a preparedness for an attack, and that's extremely worrying, because already they've had two attacks, two massacres of the Rohingya. Rohingyas are based in camps. There's a trade embargo placed on them by local Buddhist extremists who won't allow other people to do business with them. How are these people supposed to eat, live, get water? It's extremely difficult. Aid agencies are currently in Arakan helping these people out. And if this massacre does take place, some of the language that we have heard and that has been reported is that certain Buddhist extremists are talking about wiping the Rohingya out of Burma. Now, if that happens, this isn't just a, a small act of violence or a communal disagreement. This is going to be an act of genocide because it shows intent, it shows planning, and in the past it's shown that they are more than capable of causing a large number of deaths, indiscriminate deaths. That's men, women, and children. And it's not like it's a war. There's no armed Rohingya here. There's no armed Muslims. These are people living in their communities as they've lived there for centuries and are being targeted simply because they are Muslim or from a different ethnic group. I think that's it from me. I hope I haven't rabbled on for too long. Please stay tuned to our Twitter, and a big thank you actually for the real heroes in Burma are the people that are spreading the word, that are getting the reports out to us, the citizen journalists who are passing pictures onto us, who are risking their lives, collecting those reports, talking to us, and traveling with us, working with us. And also a big thank you for all our supporters that have donated, the team back home and around the world that are helping us tweet, blog, keeping us updated, and making sure that everything is okay. Hope to speak to you soon. Goodbye.